Hi guys, welcome back to the Vanity. It's Jennifer. So today what we're going to do is a full face using Wet n Wild products. I recently made a purchase on their website. I think it was Black Friday when they were running like 40% off or something like that. It took me a little while to get the goodies because I think it kind of got lost in transit. But I'm excited because I do love many Wet n Wild products, but generally whenever I go into Walgreens or something like that, I kind of pass them by when buying foundations and concealers and stuff. So I thought, what a great opportunity to kind of stock up on some of their items and see if I can make a look that I really enjoy and find some new holy grail products from Wet n Wild, because there's many things that I really already enjoy. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I did not pick up a primer from them. I just don't think that I really need one specifically from the brand. So I did just put a smoothing primer on, but what I'm going to start off with then is their Wet n Wild Photo... Well, of course it's Wet n Wild, but it's their Photo Focus Foundation. I got mine in, looks like Nude Ivory. And it's supposed to not have any flashback and stuff. I'm sure you guys have heard about it because it's been out for a while, but I never did pick it up and try it out. It's interesting because it has like this little spatula as far as the applicator, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use that, I guess, to put it on my face. Well, the consistency of it is a lot lighter than I was thinking, but this applicator I'm not a fan of. I don't know why they just didn't put it in a jar, or it is in a jar, but one with a pump. As far as the color, I feel like it's a little bit light, but as far as the range that they had, I didn't feel like they had a really good selection of different undertones. I think I need to go in with a sponge a little bit to blend. I'm looking very gothic right now. I'm looking so pale. Which really kind of sucks because I did not pick up a bronzer from them, which I guess I didn't realize, but we do have some blush, so... Oh wait, I do have a bronzer. Where are you? I think I do. Ha ha ha, yes, I do. I have this little limited edition thing that came out one year, but it's a bronzer and I'm gonna need one. It does give like kind of a blurred effect to my skin. It almost looks oddly a little bit powdery, like it's blurring out a little bit of stuff. I do feel like though it's emphasizing texture like right here for me, which is usually not a problem or not a place where I really see pores, so it does look like a little bit textured there. And it is sticking to some of the dryness around my nose, so I am not loving that, but I mean, I could use a moisturizing primer underneath, which I did not do, and I feel like it would combat some of that. It's not bad. So far I'm not thinking that this would be like my holy grail everyday foundation. Oh my god, this is the one that I go to for a flawless look, but it's not a bad foundation. Obviously I haven't worn it all day, so I don't know how it'll look at the end of the day, but so far from what I'm seeing, it's not an overly dewy foundation, so if you are a little bit oily, I don't think it would be a very big problem. However, I think if you're dry, if you don't really moisturize or exfoliate very well, you are going to see some patches on that. But let's move on to the concealer. And again, I've never tried any concealer from Wet n Wild, so what I decided to pick up was their highlighting and concealing pen. And I don't know if it had different colors, but I think it did, but not very many. I picked out Ivory, so we will use this. It's like a little pen, just like it says, and it has that brush at the top. Ooh, I see, I've got quite a ways to go here. And there we go, should be coming out. Alright. Ooh, that brush on the end there is a little bit stiff. Be careful going around your delicate eye area. So let's go ahead and blend that out. I feel like my mirror is so low. I don't want to look down. Oh, but that's pretty underneath the eye. Yeah, so that looks really pretty underneath the eye. I feel like it blended out really nicely. It's not streaky or anything. It doesn't feel heavy. I think it gave me enough coverage. So far, I'm liking that. I am gonna go ahead and put a little bit on my eyelids, because I don't have an eye primer, but that's okay because I generally use my concealer anyway. So far though, I have to go back to that foundation. I am not loving it. It's making my skin look very, very textured, crepey, way older than I am. I mean, yes, I'm 35, gonna be 36 in about 2 months, but that's making me look a lot older. So not loving that so far. But let's go ahead and set the under eye. I did pick up the Photo Focus pressed powder. I also picked this one up in the neutral buff shade. It seems to be kind of like a baked powder. The formula so far seems very soft, as in smooth, not soft and like crumbly, but I'm just gonna go ahead and dip into here. And I'm just gonna use my little handheld mirror here to set my eye. And let's see here, do I wanna take any on the lid? No. I am just going to lightly set everywhere else. I don't know, that foundation feels a little bit tacky. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a large powder brush. This one's from Crown, it's their C518. If you guys never check out the description bar, I do have a full list of like my favorite affordable brushes as far as from Crown and Coastal Scents if you guys are ever interested. I do use magic links for those though, so if you're not comfortable with that, you know, feel free to just look up the name on their website. So then I'm going to go in with the limited edition Color Icon Blush and Glow Trio. We're just going to use, this one's in Sunset Junction. We are just going to use the bronzer shade in here to bronze up the face a little bit. And it is a very warm colored bronzer. So if you don't like that, I mean, I don't think you can find it anyway right now, but I want to say it was like 2 years ago when they came out with that. Oh, there, I'm not so gothic. That looks so much better. Not that gothic is a bad look, but it's just not what I'm going for, all monotone and white. Oh man, I forgot I wanted to use this. The MegaGlo Hello Halo Liquid Highlighter. I have one in a more, I don't know, it's like a holographic-y type. It's more of a pink tone. The one that I picked up this time was Halo Goodbye. I think I am just gonna use it anyway, a little bit over this. And I'm just putting some on the back of my hand, and then I'm just gonna take this sponge so that it doesn't disrupt what I did. Okay, maybe not such a great idea, but now we gotta do it on the other side to even it up. But I do recommend these if you guys have not tried liquid highlighters. This is a nice start. They're a very nice formula, and this for me is like the more champagne neutral type of color. The other one just has like a really cool pink blue kind of shift to it, so it's not really like an everyday one for me. But their highlighter that I absolutely love is their MegaGlo highlighting powder. This one is in Precious Petals. It's slightly too dark for me, but I use it anyway and it works out just fine. And these just give a really nice glow. I know they've come out with a ton of different colors as of lately. I have not tried any of like the more crazy shades like the blue or the purple or anything like that, but this one is just a nice everyday one. And as you can see, I have loved this thing quite a bit. The little bird pattern is off. I have a little bit of a divot in the center. I really love it. As you can see, it just gives like a really nice natural sheen to your face. It doesn't emphasize any pores or texture really there. It's really not bad at all. Okay, seeing that I don't really know exactly where I'm going with my eye look yet, I'm not gonna put blush on. I will put blush on at the end. But when we get there, I do have these Color Icon blushes. I love this formula. So the Rose Champagne is just a nice everyday one. I almost think if you were very, very, very fair, you could use this as like a bronzer. It wouldn't be like the ideal bronzer color, but I think for very, very fair, I think it would work because it does have that neutral color to it. It is a little bit peach, but I don't think so bad that you couldn't use it. And then the Pearlescent Pink is just a nice, it looks more corally or hot pink on the viewfinder, but in person it looks more peach to me. It doesn't really look pink all that much to me, so that's why I like it. I usually don't gravitate towards really pink blushes, but this is more of like a peachy pink. Kind of reminds me of what NARS Orgasm would look like, but those are the two that we have to choose from. So depending on how we go, will determine what we use. I picked up this little quad from Wet n Wild. I don't really have too many of their eyeshadows. I do have the Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette, which most of us do, but I depotted mine and it's in a Z palette, in a magnetic palette, so I thought I would pick up something else. And what's really great about these little quads is a lot of them do come with some sort of transition shade or some kind of a match, so I think they've really stepped up their game with that. I think it's I think that's awesome, because if you did want to just take a little quad with you somewhere, you would have that neutral shade as long as it worked for your skin tone. Can I get into this? I don't know. It's not letting me in there, these stupid stickers. It says that it's limited edition. I don't know how long it's limited for, but the color that I picked it up in is Flock Party, and it has this really great berry tone here. It has like a gold color, a little champagne color, and a sort of a peach shifting, peach leaning transition shade, a peach leaning transition shade that I think will work well for me. Interestingly enough though, they say that this color should go on the eyelid. This really metallic gold should go in your crease. This color they're suggesting for your brow bone, and then this one is your transition. I always thought it would be really interesting to do like a series. I don't know what I would call it, but following sort of what the brand recommends. You know how like Too Faced comes with those little cards, and like these always say that, or on the back. See, like on the back it has like a little thing to follow those instructions and see if the look really turns out. Because I don't know, sometimes I'm looking at them like, what do you mean? It's not how you do it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna definitely put that berry shade all over the lid. I also picked up this kind of berry colored eyeliner just in case if I need that for the base. So I think that's where I'm gonna go for now and see how that looks. I think we're good. I think we're just gonna start off with the transition shade like they are saying. And I am going in with a crown brush. If you guys are interested, this is the C441 Pro blending brush. I absolutely love this. It is a natural bristled brush, so if you don't like those, some people think that they're a little scratchy, but I find that they really pick up the color well, and I love that. Ooh, this crease shade is nice. And I'm just blending this back and forth in my crease and kind of up to the brows and carrying it out a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this gold that they're saying should go in the crease, and I'm gonna put it in the crease and see what that does. I really need to wash my brushes. This one is also an affordable brush. This is the Coastal Scents brush. It's their BR-C-S08. Just looks like this. It's kind of like a domed blending brush, but it does kind of come to a little bit of a tip. So I find it's very useful to even smoke underneath the lash line, because I can get in there with that little end of it there. But I'm gonna take that gold shade and I'm gonna stay right in the crease and above. I know some people don't like to use metallics in their crease, but this seems to be okay. It tends to happen anyway for me because I have hooded eyelids, so whatever I put on my lid always goes up into the crease a little bit, so I'm used to seeing that. So I think that's pretty good. What I'm going to do next is take a flat shader brush, and I'm not joking guys, I do love all these brushes. This one is the Crown C204 Red Sable oval brush. It's a really nice, firm, but yet not scratchy brush to pick up shadows that you just want to pack all over the lid. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go into that burgundy shade or that berry shade, and we're going to just put that all over the lid. And I didn't spray my brush or anything like that. I'm just kind of wiggling it in. We got some color here. I'm just going to pat, 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 pat. See if we can get some good color payoff. So far, it's not looking very opaque. It's looking like a very light wash of color. So it's not exactly what I was going for. It looks a little bit more like pink eye than a cranberry. So we'll see if we can build this up. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to try. I have the Photo Focus setting spray, so I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit. I hope this doesn't ruin the shadow in the pan, because sometimes they don't play well when you do that, but okay, so that is really helping. It's looking very pretty and metallic. It's still not as deep as I would like it to be, but you could fix that by putting some kind of a black base underneath it to make it a little bit more rich like I was thinking, but that's kind of too late now. It's not the easiest shadow to work with, but I think I kind of messed up the pan when I wet my brush first. Okay, so we've got that all over the lid. I do need to go in with our crease brush that we used, and I am going to go into that burgundy shade to really blend that out. So in the outer corner here, I'm just kind of flicking it up and outwards a little bit to keep that more of a cat eye shape. Okay, so I think that's looking all right. What I'm gonna do next is just kind of clean off this brush that we just used, and I'm gonna use that to put our transition shade on the lower lash line, just really messily, because we are gonna smoke it out a little bit down there with that cranberry shade. So we're just going into that shade there and taking it. All right, I think that what I am gonna do is smudge a little bit of this on the bottom lash line. And this is their Wet n Wild On the Edge Longwearing Eye Pencil. And the color that I got it in is A206 Shock Therapy. It looks more of like a hottish pink, but it ends up matching this pretty well. It's a little bit lighter than I would like, but that's what we've got, so that's what we're gonna put on. I'm thinking it'll help that color stick a little bit more to the underneath. You can use any small shadow brush to get underneath there, but we're gonna do that and we're gonna smoke it out a little bit. We're gonna smudge it out. Yeah, the eye crayon or the eye liner does help a little bit. It smudges out that color and makes it a little bit more pigmented. So I may add some to the top lid there, right at the lash line, to make that a little bit more intense. It does look like it lost a little bit of the color there, so I think that'll help out. So we're going back in with the eyeliner. We're just gonna put it messily on the top lash line here. And I'm gonna just take that same small brush that we used on the bottom to kind of smudge that out with our color. All right, the only thing that I think that this little palette could be lacking is they could honestly make it, make this split pan this guy, and or even just, you know, a quarter of it, and put a darker like brown in there, something that you could really deepen up the crease a little bit. I feel like that could really do some good and make this a really nice little travel guide, because you could do a neutral look with this and this, or do a little bit more berry, even like two strips, like a darker cranberry and a dark brown, because you don't need this big of a pan of that color, but then it wouldn't be a little quad anymore. I did also pick up this Ultimate Brow Highlighter. Emily Noel talks about this all the time and uses it on her waterline, so I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to use it underneath my brows. So we're going to tightline with this. I was hoping it would make me not look so sickly with this color. Does that look weird? No, it looks okay. I don't really use things like this underneath my brows, do you guys? The next thing I think I need to do is my brows. I've never tried any brow products from Wet n Wild, and I haven't heard too many people talk about them, but I picked up their Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil. I picked up Ash Brown. I know you guys are probably sick of telling me, or probably sick of hearing it, but I always like to use a little bit lighter brown. I do have black eyebrows, but I don't want to pencil them in black, so I always go lighter. And it's just got that sort of teardrop shape, so I'm thinking it should be okay as long as the formula is all right. And I don't actually have to draw on my eyebrows or anything, so I just need this to be able to fill them in spots for it to really be worth it. So far it seems to be working pretty good. I like the shade. I feel like it's plenty dark for my brows. And I'm just using a fairly light hand with it. It can get kind of intense, I could tell right here on the outer tail there. But yeah, I mean, look at that. It looks nice and filled in. It takes care of all the sparse areas, and the color looks great. So I like this. It's a nice option. Next thing that I'm gonna do is their Ultimate Brow Mascara. I've never tried any of their brow mascaras either, but the color I picked mine up in was Nothing But Brunette. and their little wand looks like this. It's kind of like a small mascara wand, but it does have a little bit of color to it. I am getting a little bit right here on my face. I feel like that made my brows look a little bit heavier or darker than I would really want them to look, but we'll see when it dries what it looks like. So I'm just gonna use the clean spoolie on the brow product, on the pencil there, to kind of comb it out a little bit more. As I'm combing through it, I can feel that it is setting a little bit, so it does have some setting powder, or setting powder, has some setting power. So we're gonna leave that alone for now. I do think I'm gonna move on to my blush. I am feeling a little bit odd right now when I'm looking in the viewfinder, and then we will put on our mascara. So I think because the eyes are a little bit bold, I am going to go in with the Rose Champagne. And this is a Morphe blush brush if you guys are interested in that. It's their E34. I don't have a lot of Morphe brushes, but I do have some. It's a really nice, soft blush brush. It is a fairly large one, so it depends on what kind of shape that you like. That's the one thing I really love about this blush. Like, I can put it all over my face. Not all over, but I can put a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and it just adds life, but without a lot of color. Like, I feel like that looks so much better. Okay, so moving on, we are gonna put on mascara. Now, I did, just out of kind of shits and giggles, picked up some of these colored ones because they were on sale, and I thought that would be fun to have. But I think because my look is already so pink, I would really look sickly if I used this pink. But I kind of wanted to show you guys anyway. It looks more of like a bubblegummy pink than necessarily like this metallic that's shown here. The color that that's in is pale pink, and then this one is says seafoam green. The little metallic color looks more of a teal, but when you pull it out here, it is definitely seafoam green. So this one I'm really interested to try. I'm just curious why they decided to do a teal band on it, because it's very misleading. But I think I want to do like a color series on my channel where I just do like monochromatic of certain colors. What do you guys think? I know there's other YouTubers that have done that, but it's something that I think I would just personally enjoy doing. So what I'm going to put on though for their mascara is their Lash Renegade. It has this interesting wand here that has kind of like a little bubble at the top, so we'll see how that goes on. So far so good. I am not poking myself. It's not clumping too bad or anything. I don't like how I can't really get into the corner unless I use this little thing. It is nice for getting into the inner corner though. Yeah, I like that. I mean, so far so good. I think I don't really need to do more than like 1 or 2 coats though. I think it's a pretty good mascara there. The formula does feel slightly wet. I mean, as you use it, it is going to dry up a little bit, so I think I'll like it more when it does that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on my lower lash line as well. I'm a little bit nervous with this little ball on the end that I'm gonna make a mess. Okay, if I'm being quite honest, it's not my favorite mascara as far as lower lashes, but I do really like what it did for my upper lashes. It seems to be doing just as good a job of any other mascara that I've had that I've enjoyed. So I think that this is a good little find. They're Lash Renegade. I don't know if that comes in other colors, but I got mine in Brazen Black. I'm just gonna set my face using the Photo Focus spray. And then what I like to do after I spray it on is I'll just take like my big powder brush and just kind of dab all over so that the stuff that's sticking to my little hair on my face goes down and everything sort of melts in. If you don't have that, you can use your sponge to do the exact same thing. Okay, so what I picked up for lips is their Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick. I picked up Sen Nudes, and this is what it looks like right here. I think it's just supposed to be more of like a glossy everyday lipstick, so I'm just gonna wipe off that balm that I had. It's pretty opaque. It's a nice nude. I feel like if you like to overdraw your lips with some lip liner, this wouldn't bleed outside of the lines a lot or anything like that. I feel like as I move my lips around and things like that, you can see like little lines in it a little bit. It doesn't stay right where you put it, and it does cling a little bit to dry patches. I don't know, that makes it sound really bad, but it's not super bad. I think if you didn't have a problem with fine lines in your lips and you don't have dry lips, you wouldn't notice that, and like, people are gonna have to be like right up on you if they're gonna see that. But I will definitely continue to wear this even with that because I don't think it's noticeable. Now, I do only have this one color that I've tried, so I don't know if the color range, you know, if the formula's vary or anything like that, but I definitely think about checking these out, especially if there's a color that interests you, because it's pretty good. Alright guys, so this is the final look. This is my full face using all Wet n Wild products. What do we think? What do we think? I think it turned out pretty good. I actually am surprised by this little quad. Like I said, I feel like there are colors that would take this to the next step, but as far as like a nice daytime look, I don't know, it's pretty. I feel like the cranberry, you did have to work a little bit to get it opaque, but if you put like a white base under it or a black base under it, you would get more of a bold color, but there's nothing wrong with the look that I have on. I actually really quite like it. It's very pretty. The foundation as it sits, I still feel like it's clinging a little bit weird in certain spots. Like, I feel like I can really see a lot of my pores, but I could try and play around with that with other primers and things to see if that will help. Like, you know, sometimes they just play better with others than they do with others, you know, they're just better friends with other primers. So that I'll continue to play with. Like I said, it's not the worst foundation. There's just certain things about it that I don't experience that I experience with some of my other affordable foundations that I already love. So it does have, you know, there's a bar and it's not quite there, but it's definitely not a bad foundation. As far as the concealer, I really liked that, and the powder I really liked. So yeah, all in all, some of the products that I picked up that I hadn't tried before, I really enjoyed. I really liked the mascara. I think the brow pencil is a good investment. The jury's out yet on this eyebrow gel. I think that it's holding my eyebrows. It's got some staying power. I don't like how it got on my skin a little bit, but if they had a clear, I would recommend a clear for sure. And I do really like the quad. I think it turned out a pretty look. I do really like the powder. I'm going to continue to use it. I can see it being a rebuy in my collection. Same with the mascara and the brow product. Same with the concealer. So far, I really like the way that that looks on my eyes. I could definitely see this also being a rebuy. And I do like the liquid concealer, or the liquid highlighter, even though we didn't really use it this time around. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm a little bit rambly. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, welcome. Please subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.